tonight. Police investigate Calgary's second murder of the year. The election campaign continues across the province. And in Sports Plus, the Flames look for a win against the Coyotes.
CFCN News with Shelley McCrugen.
Good evening. Calgary police are investigating the city's second murder of the year. They've identified the victim as 39-year-old Michael Joseph Laferriere of Calgary. They believe he was a victim of a severe beating. Another man, described as the victim's partner, was also beaten. He's recovering tonight in Foothills Hospital. It happened in the 1900 block of 28th Avenue Southwest just before midnight. Jeff Little reports.
The investigation into Calgary's second murder of the year is now into its second day. Early this afternoon, a man's body was removed from this Southwest duplex.
All I can really tell you is that we have one adult male that's deceased, and until homicide puts all the details together, I can't give you anything else.
Police arrived here just before midnight after receiving a call from paramedics about a suspicious death. The duplex was quickly contained, and as the investigation began inside the home, evidence was gathered outside. Nearly the entire block was sealed off. Police went door to door, asking neighbors if they had seen or heard anything.
At the scene, we did find one male deceased in the residence. He appears to be a male in his 30s. We have another male at the Foothills Hospital in serious condition. It appears that both males may have suffered some form of beating.
Police remained at the scene all day. This man lives next door to the duplex. He says he always thought his neighborhood was safe, but the murder has put a scare into him.
I thought it was, but it's fairly quiet. So the unusual thing happens once in a while, but you don't expect murder. Because
Monday is a holiday, an autopsy may not be performed until Tuesday. Police also say it could be 2 days before the home is released as a crime scene. Jeff Little, CFCN News.
Police have charged 39-year-old Braden Vincent Dupuis with second-degree murder. If you saw anything out of the ordinary in the area of 28th Avenue and 19th Street last night, police would like you to call them or Crime Stoppers. A southern Alberta woman is setting up a fund to help families of murder victims. It's been a year since Deb Doerr's daughter, Tara McDonald, was killed. McDonald was killed while working alone at a Subway sandwich shop in southeast Calgary. Her mother is setting up the charity to help families of victims with their costs. She says she is having money troubles herself after taking so much time off work and traveling to attend court dates of her daughter's accused killer. Doerr is waiting for word from a provincial registration society that would recognize her memorial fund as a legitimate non-profit body. That would make it eligible for startup funding from the Alberta government.
It'll be a cool one when you head off to work tomorrow morning. We're looking at a temperature of minus 15 degrees around 8 a.m. And we're going to have the winds fairly light out of the northeast. Even though we have a mix of sun and cloud, don't be surprised to see a light flurry associated with that. I'll have more details in a bit, Shelley.
Okay, thanks, Vicki. It's day 6 of the election campaign. Party leaders were across the province spreading the word about their platforms. Ralph Klein spent the day in Calgary. He shook hands and met with people at the boat show at Stampede Park. Klein says he's been happy with the campaign so far, but says the tactics of the other two parties are disappointing. He says he's angry with what he calls the Liberal and ND's attempts to link him to the Stockwell Day lawsuit.
I guess in politics, as I said at the beginning, it brings out the worst in people, and it shows me that, both the NDs and the Liberals are very desperate.
Tomorrow, Klein will spend time at the Calgary Zoo helping hand out Great Kids Awards. Meantime, Liberal leader Nancy McBeth spent another day in northern Alberta. McBeth was in Edmonton this morning trying to drum up support. She then flew to Peace River later in the day and will spend some time in communities there. She claims she is the only candidate who has stuck to the issues.
Some of those issues have been ignored by the Klein administration. Deregulation, healthcare, education, those are the issues on Albertans' minds, and that's what this election's about.
Yeah, that sounds
Leader Raj Panu made this Sunday a time for his family, so Deputy Leader Brian Mason spoke on behalf of the party. Mason says there is a long-standing rival between Macbeth and Klein, but his party is staying out of it and staying focused.
But obviously we feel our policies are better, and we certainly think that we would make a better opposition than the Liberal Party. We think down the road we'd make a better government than the Conservatives as well.
The leaders of the three main parties are preparing for a televised debate, which will take place on February 26th. A woman injured in a three-vehicle crash east of Calgary this weekend has died of her injuries. 60-year-old Barbara Harder of Rosemary died in Foothills Hospital. The collision happened on Highway 550 between Bassano and Rosemary yesterday. Police say a 1998 Dodge Ram pickup truck rear-ended a 1988 Oldsmobile. It's believed the car had broken down. Harder and a 50-year-old man were standing outside the car at the time of the collision. RCMP say a 96 Dodge Ram stopped to assist the driver of the car. It was also damaged. Police continue to investigate. 3 men are in hospital tonight following a crash near Pincher Creek. Roads were extremely icy at the time. It happened last night on Highway 3 just east of Pincher. RCMP say a pickup went out of control on the icy road and slid into the path of an oncoming tractor-trailer unit. 2 of the men in the pickup were thrown from the vehicle. The third had to be removed with the jaws of life. The men were taken to hospital. The driver of the tractor-trailer was not injured. Thousands of people flocked to the Stampede grounds this weekend to indulge in their interest of trains, big and small. And it's a record turnout for the 7th annual Super Train Railway Show.
Oh, here comes one.
More than 10,000 people, young and old, have taken in the model train show. There were about 65 displays, some very elaborate ones with bridges, towns, people, and mountain scenes. There were also commercial displays and some still being built. It takes hours of work to create these displays. The strong turnout indicates the show is a fun event and interest in model trains is growing.
You get to meet people, and you get to see some very fine models. There's also a lot of models that are under construction, so people can see out how they're done. Obviously, the kids like the trains because it's fun for them.
A portion of the proceeds from the train show are donated to the Food Bank and Alberta Children's Hospital.
You're watching CFCN News Calgary. News worth watching.
We're going to see an area of high pressure continue to build down tomorrow afternoon. Right now, mainly clear skies to the north because of some cold Arctic air, and that cold Arctic air continues to settle in. Today, we had some warmer air move up from the south, but that warmer air continuing to be pushed down to the south. Because of these two systems, that's why we had the instability, the light flurry activity, and by tomorrow afternoon, we are going to look at a mix of sun and cloud. But with this ridge of high pressure, we also get into a northeasterly flow, and with the easterly flow we know that we have the upslope conditions, and you never need to be surprised when you see the light flurry associated with that. So we're going with a mix of sun and cloud. Could see odd flurry, but not the case up in the north. Just sunny and cold, and pretty cold for the entire prairie provinces. We're doing a little bit better than some regions. Minus 52 with wind chill in Churchill today. Minus 11 in Edmonton, minus 12 in Red Deer, minus 8 for the Jasper region. We're looking at the flurry activity for Banff, likely just cloudier in through the Jasper area. Cloudy through the East Kootenay region and the odd light flurry associated with that cloud cover. Lethbridge minus 6, colder in Medicine Hat with the minus 11, and we lose about 7 degrees compared to what our daytime high was today with that minus 9. On Tuesday, we see more sunshine, but minus 12 with that cold Arctic air just settling in. On Wednesday, minus 4. We could do a little bit better than that, but probably in the minus single digits, near the freezing mark anyway on Wednesday, dropping back on Thursday and Friday once again, Shelley, as some colder air comes back in. And I looked past Friday. The trend looks to stay cold. What's happening, we have those cold snaps, and then these systems try to move in from the west coast. They bring the warm air. We get the light flurry activity, but it's really just a battle between that cold air and that warm air, and at this point the cold air is winning out more often than not.
Well, we knew winter was going to be here to stay for a little while anyway.
Yeah,
so.
and it's only a month until spring.
know, so it's all right.
Yeah.
Thank you. Stay with us. Heath Brown is in next with Sports Plus.
The stock car's most famous and successful drivers came on the last lap of NASCAR's biggest race. Sterling Marlin in car number 40 made brief contact with Dale Earnhardt's car number 3. Then the driver known as the Intimidator collided with Kenny Schrader, hitting the wall hard in turn 4. Emergency crews rushed to the scene, giving Earnhardt CPR and oxygen. He eventually had to be cut out of his car. He was then rushed to nearby Halifax Medical Center with his son, Dale Earnhardt Jr., who finished second in the race. But later doctors said Earnhardt had died instantly from head injuries.
He had what I feel were life-ending type injuries at the time of impact, and really nothing could be done for him.
NASCAR officials and drivers in the larger racing community are stunned by his sudden loss.
But after the accident in turn 4 at the end of the Daytona 500, we've lost Dale Earnhardt.
Ironically, driver Michael Waltrip won Sunday's Daytona 500 in a car owned by Earnhardt. Earnhardt's 7 NASCAR Series championships are equaled only by the legendary Richard Petty. He also won 76 races, more than any active driver. In his 20th try, Earnhardt won his only Daytona 500 race back in 1998. It was one of his crowning achievements.
Dale Earnhardt finally is a champion of the Daytona 500.
Despite his struggles in the 500, Earnhardt actually won more races at the Daytona track than any other NASCAR driver, 34. For Earnhardt, racing was the family business. He followed in the path of his father, Ralph, as a stock car driver, and now his son, called Little E, is left to carry on the family tradition. Along with Richard Petty, Earnhardt was easily one of the most popular drivers in NASCAR history. Dale Earnhardt was just 49 years old. Chuck Sievertson, ABC News.
Earnhardt underneath him. Hornaday takes him downstairs. Thinks better of it. Good. Ward Burton got pushed around by that car, and that's the 4 car. Then he got in the back of Tony Stewart. Of course, Tony Stewart won Erickson. And it was Ward Burton's car being sideways that blocked up the track for everybody behind him. Boy, and it gets hit by every car in the field, seems like, and Tony Stewart's car just took a whale of a ride.
There was
that must be at least 30 cars.
A delay to the race. They brought out the red flag. Now let's go to the last lap where Earnhardt Sr. crashes. Michael Waltrip crosses the finish line just ahead of Dale Jr. for his first win, but this day will always be remembered by Michael Waltrip as the day his boss died, as Dale Sr. owned both of those cars. And what a disaster for the Earnhardts and Waltrips, and what should have been an otherwise happy day. A very, very sad day in sports. Baseball Hall of Famer Eddie Matthews died. Brett Lindros was seriously hurt in a snowmobile accident, but we hope to put a smile on your face in our next segment. We'll meet a super sports mom. She has 12 children, and all but one of them have been involved in the sport of swimming. Stay with us. Top of the Scott Tournament of Hearts after 5 draws in Sudbury, Ontario, and there is a lot of cream, it would seem. Our feature game tonight is Team Canada against Ontario. Kelly Law of Richmond, BC, with a draw for 3 in the first end. What a great start for Team BC, from BC rather, 3-0. Third end, 3-1 now. Law with the hammer, and she makes an easy hit for a single point and a 4-1 advantage over Sherry Madoff. Jumping ahead to the 7th end now, Law with some serious heat on this stone. She executes the double takeout to perfection. 2 more for Team Canada. Let's have a look at the scoreboard now. They win 8-3 and are 3-0 after 5 draws. Let's check the standings. 5 rinks are still undefeated. Manitoba, New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, PEI, and the defending champions are all 3-0. Alberta is a disappointing 0-3. Canadians Jamie Saleh and David Pelche took the pairs event at the International Skating Union Grand Prix final today in Tokyo, their second major title in a week. Their only major mistake was Jamie falling on a triple pole, which you just saw. Saleh of Red Deer and Pelche of Quebec outscored Russians Elena Berezhnaya and Anton Stigerlizy, who placed second. A Chinese couple was third. The Canadians won with last year's program, Love Story, earning presentation marks of 5-8 and 5-9, except for a 5-6 from an obviously biased Russian judge. They came to Tokyo after winning in Salt Lake City at the Four Continents Championship last week. They are the favorites in pairs for Worlds in March. Russian Evgeny Plushenko won the men's, Irina Slutskaya took the women's, and the ice dance final went to Italians Barbara Fuzzarpoli and Maurizio Marshaglio. It's no coincidence that when given the chance, athletes say hi to their moms when on TV. Supermoms are invaluable, and we're going to introduce to you Diane Hibbert of Bearspaw, who can be seen on any given day taking her kids to the pool.
Diane Hibbert is like no other sports mom you've ever met. She has 12 children, ranging in age from 21 to 2, and 7 of the kids are currently competitive swimmers, 6 of them with the Killarney Club.
We became involved in swimming because it's something that all ages and all sexes can do, so I thought it would be easy for me to take all the children to one location at the same time. As they get into it, they can learn a lot about respect, responsibility, goal setting, and that kind of thing, and hopefully learn some life lessons that they can use later on.
And the kids all enjoy being involved in the same sport.
Well, it's fun because you have someone to talk to instead of like strangers.
They're all a joy to coach, and it's not often that you can come to the pool and find them down or not smiling. They're always smiling and happy.
I like to see them happy and striving, achieving, looking for goals and achieving their goals, and it gives a great satisfaction to see them happy.
As you might imagine, getting that many children organized and trying to watch them all in the pool is a very difficult task.
Well, we get up pretty early in the morning, they have breakfast, we grab all the swimsuits, the towels, make sure everybody's got everything packed that they need. We jump into the car, and I have to do a head count to make sure I don't forget anyone like I did 2 weeks ago.
What happened?
Well, I left Andrew at home when they were on their way to workout, and we didn't realize he was missing until we got to the pool.
Tell me about your mom and what she's like and how much you love her.
Lots.
Yeah? What's your mom like?
A nice person.
Yeah? Is she important?
Yeah, very.
She's very supportive of the coaching staff, always communicating very well and speaking highly of Killarney Swimming, and you know, it's a pleasure to work with her daily.
The youngest Hibbert is Alexandra. She's 2, but it seems she's not destined for the pool.
We might try something different just for a change.
Like what?
Maybe dancing.
Well, if you have children and watch that piece, you probably said, wow. And hopefully you'll say the same thing after checking out our sports hits. That's our look at sports, Shelley.
Great, thank you. We'll take our final break on the CFCN Late Night News. When we come back, from dogs to cockroaches, we'll show you who rules in the animal kingdom.
Warning. It will likely